Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. First, just want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed your holiday with your families. The earlier part of the day, I had to go into work, but I was able to spend some really nice quality time with my wife and children and some other family members today. It was a pretty decent Thanksgiving. Got to watch a little football. I did put a couple bucks in the three game slate on DraftKings. Put in 5, 110, so whatever. Uh, Not too much to speak of. Just something to hold me over until today. We had a nice break from the NBA action, and I know it was kind of weird a day without NBA, but you need that sometimes. Sometimes you need to just take a break, lay low, collect your thoughts, and jump back into it full throttle. And that is what we're gonna do on tonight's show. Now, on tomorrow, we have 15 games, but the first game is only going to be a part of that 6-game early slate. So if you feel intimidated by that monster 14-game main slate on DraftKings, you are more than welcome. I would implore you to take your chances in the 6-game slate where you have less room for error. The scores are going to be a little tighter, and I think the cash line is going to be a little bit lower in that 6-game slate. Now, the first game we're going to talk about is one of the headlining games. It's a 1 o'clock game for that six-game slate, but it's not a part of the main one at all. So this is the San Antonio Spurs going to Boston to take on the Celtics. Now, it's a 202 point total with only a -2.5 point differential. That is going in favor of the San Antonio Spurs. They are giving up 2.5 points to the Boston Celtics. So that means the Celtics are a home dog. Now, anytime we get a team this good being a home dog, we can definitely expect for the game to be close. But I really don't like too much from the Boston side, and you know how I roll. Anytime Boston is in play, we can definitely target members of the other team's front court. Now, with the San Antonio Spurs, you've got two really good rebounds on that team. One of them is not just a rebounder, but he packs the scoring punch and a really great defensive presence, and that's Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard is in play tomorrow on that 6-game slate. I like him. Also, for a lot cheaper, my favorite play in this game is going to be LaMarcus Aldridge. I think he can really exploit the Boston lack of a rebounding presence and have a really, really good game. The next game we're going to talk about is the Washington Wizards going to Orlando to take on the Orlando Magic. This is a 202.5 point total. Another interesting point differential here. We've got Washington giving up 1 point to the Orlando Magic. That means Orlando's a home dog, so the game will most likely be close. In this game, I love John Wall. I think the point total plus the differential is really going to allow us to see a full allotment of minutes. And whenever you can get that promised, you can get 30, 35, 36 minutes for John Wall. That is definitely a place that's going to be in play. Now, a lot of people, when they log into the DraftKings account, they're going to see John Wall against the, I think it's a number 2 ranked DVOA. They're going to see that, and they're going to kind of hesitate a little bit to roster John Wall. There is no hesitation for me. Fire him up. I really like him tomorrow. Now, we also look at the fact that Otto Porter is questionable. So we need to find out if he's going to be in play or not. And when we do that is we follow the Washington Wizards beat writers. We stay close to Twitter. We check the various sites to make sure he's going to be in or out of the lineup. And we need to know that before lineups lock at 7. Or if you're playing a 6 o'clock slate, I wouldn't play him at all because, excuse me, if you're playing a 6-game slate, I wouldn't play him at all because the lineups lock at 1. So, on the Washington side, I really think this is a stackable game. I like Bradley Beal. And this is if Otto Porter is out. I like John Wall, Bradley Beal, and I also like Markieff Morris in this game. On the Orlando side, it's going to be an up-tempo, up-paced game. The best player on the floor usually dictates the tempo of the game, and that is going to be John Wall. So I think it's going to be a fast-paced game, but a lot of possessions. I would bet the over in this game, the 202.5. I would bet the over in that, and that leads me to like Evan Fournier just a little bit. I think Martin Gortat is going to be a fairly decent play, but I think Vucevic at his depressed price point can really return value for you too. But if I had to go anywhere in this game, it would definitely be John Wall, Bradley Beal. If I roster John Wall, it's going to be in a Washington stack. That's just the truth about it. especially if Otto Porter is out. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be the Dallas Mavericks going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is a 202.5 point total with a whopping 14.5 point differential. This is going in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are giving the Dallas Mavericks 14.5 points. So instantly, that is telling me that we may not see the full allotment of minutes from LeBron James. Now, I thought this the other night, but they kept it just close enough for us to see LeBron in the fourth quarter. He went out and had a triple-double with 73 DraftKings points. We also saw an excellent, crazy first quarter from Kevin Love. He had 34 points in the first quarter. And this is just like the Washington game. The Cleveland, the better players on Cleveland has such a strong presence that there is no way that I'm going to roster just one of them. If I'm rostering anybody from Cleveland, I'm stacking it, especially against the Dallas Mavericks. This team is a bad team. They're in a bad way. We also have some injury concerns with Deron Williams may be out, JJ Barea may be out. We also know JJ Barea is out. Devin Harris may be out. We've got Dirk Nowitzki, but he was on a minutes limit the last time. We need to check him and see how his minutes are going to be because he's only at 5.2K, and if he's going to see a full allotment of minutes, maybe if we get 3/4 of Dirk shooting that jumper on the outside, it may be a decent play for him. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the LA Clippers traveling to Detroit to take on the Pistons. This is a 201.5 point total with the Clippers giving up 6.5 points to the Detroit Pistons. Now, that again, we've got another home dog, another home underdog. Now, I haven't rostered this guy all year long, but I really feel like tomorrow is a perfect spot for DeAndre Jordan. At 6.2K, he's a double-double tomorrow. He's definitely a double-double tomorrow. I also like Blake Griffin. Chris Paul, to me, just for his defensive presence alone, I think is going to be a really nice play. I don't see the game blowing out as previous Clipper games have been recently, because I think Andre Drummond is gonna make his presence felt in this game and have somewhat of a decent game. I like KCP to go up against a little Austin Rivers with the second team and JJ Redick with the first team. Ish Smith is a no play for me. There's not too much in this game that I like. If I have to roster anybody from the Detroit side, I would take a shot on Drummond to go out and double-double with them rebounds. I would take a shot on KCP. I like Chris Paul on the other side, as well as Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. If you're looking for the scrub love, I think you can definitely go with Mo Spates. Last game out, he had 12 points, 16 boards. If you think this game is going to blow out, I would definitely take a shot on Maurice Spates. The next game we're going to talk about is probably my favorite game on the slate. This is the game where the fantasy magic, I think, is going to happen. This game is where it's all going to go down. Okay, we've got the New York Knicks at home against the Charlotte Hornets. This is a home game for Kemba. Kemba is a New Yorker. He's from Brooklyn. Fire him up. I love Kemba tomorrow. This is a 211 point total, which is awesome. 211 points between these two teams that are not really great defensive teams that push the pace and can score a little bit. We've also got a -1 point total. The only reason why the point total is so short is because they had to give a point to somebody, and this game could definitely go either way as far as winning or losing, but I do like that 211 point total, and the Charlotte Hornets are giving up a point to the New York Knicks. This is finally a game that I like Carmelo Anthony in. I haven't rostered him all year long. I think I may be taking a shot on him tomorrow. This is definitely a stackable offense with because you're going to see a lot of, I think you're going to see a lot of minutes off of the bench for the New York Knicks for excuse me. You're going to see a lot of minutes off for Brandon Jennings. I like Brandon Jennings to play a lot in this game. I also like Courtney Lee. This is going to be a revenge game. He played with the Charlotte Hornets recently, and I think he's going to want to have a good game in New York against his old team, the Charlotte Hornets. I definitely think Courtney Lee is going to be a good play, especially at that 3.7K. You get a starter in a 211 point total, 3.7K. We saw it happen with Damari Carroll the last laid out. I like Courtney Lee. He's going to be in quite a fair number of my lineups tomorrow on the Knicks side. So I think it's a stackable offense. I think you go Courtney Lee, Porzingis, and Melo. I even like Joakim Noah in this game. I think there's going to be a ton of fantasy goodness in this game. I really like this. Of course, on the other side, I like Kemba Walker. If I had to choose between MKG, who I like in this game, and Nick Batum at the price point, I would go MKG. He's been trending up ever since he had that really horrible game in a great matchup against the I believe it was the Brooklyn Nets they were playing. It was just that bad game, and he has definitely been trending up, and he sees the most run with the second team with their worst players on the floor. So I do like MKG tomorrow. I like Kemba Walker, and I definitely like uh, Porzingis, Melo, and Brandon Jennings. The next game we're going to talk about is a 203.5 point total. This is the Chicago Bulls going to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. It is a minus 7.5 point total with the Chicago Bulls giving those points up to the Philadelphia 76ers. We need to know what's going on with Joel Embiid before we can really dig into this game. So we got to be wary of the injury news as it comes out tomorrow. Jimmy Butler is going to be spectacular play in this game. I also like Rajon Rondo going up against Sergio Rodriguez or Bayless, whoever starts. We need to find out who's going to be starting of those two. Last game out, Jared Bayless did have a pretty decent game. I think he's definitely in consideration. If Embiid sits, that makes Okafor a really intriguing prospect because we know Richaun Holmes isn't getting the job done. I'm not sure if we're going to see the full allotment of minutes from Gerald Henderson if he does play, but he's somebody who I like for the cheap that can go out and score fairly decently. Michael Carter Williams is going to be out. Doug McDermott is going to be out. So this is also, I feel like it's also a stackable game on the Chicago side. If you want to Rondo, Wade, Butler, that is never a bad choice. The next game is going to be the Miami Heat going to the Memphis Grizzlies. I kind of want no parts of this game. 189.5 is the total. It's a -6. Denver is giving up 6 points at home. It's in the grindhouse. It's going to be very slow pace. I mean, Whiteside is such an animal, and he let so many people down, scoring 19 points out last time, that I'm sure his ownership is going to be low. But in such a slow-paced game, going up against Mike Conley, one of the better point guards in the league, as well as Marc Gasol, I don't know if I want any parts of this game. This game for me may be a complete stay away. Now we do have some injuries in the game. Goran Dragic is going to be questionable. Dion Waiters is questionable. Justice Winslow is out as of right now. James Ennis is out, as well as Chandler Parsons. So if you want to look to some cheap players, you may be able to look at Vince Carter at 4.2K, the Andrew Harrison guy at 3.1. He may be a decent play. This game could blow out, especially if Dragic doesn't play. This game, if Dragic and Waiters don't play, this game could blow out. So I think there's more value in this game than actual bona fide starts where you can look to target that 6x value. I think if anybody gets 6x on this team, on this Memphis team, it's going to be the Harrison guy. It's going to be, Vince Carter is going to play well. I don't think you're going to have to see that from Mike Conley in order for him to win this game. We're not going to have to see 6x from Marc Gasol for them to win this game, and I really don't like much on the Miami side anyway. So I think I'm gonna completely stay away from this game. The next game we're gonna get into is gonna be the Toronto Raptors going to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. This is a -3 in favor of the Toronto Raptors. They're giving up 3 points to the Milwaukee Bucks. It's a 211 point total. That is very tasty. I like Giannis tomorrow. I really do. He's a guy, if you remember last year, he played well in streaks. I think back to back to back to back. He had really great games in a row. So I definitely think that we can look to roster him tomorrow. DeMar DeRozan is going to be on the table, but I don't like him as much as I like Kyle Lowry. We saw another guy that I was talking about that was very cheap, that's trending up, and that's DeMarre Carroll. DeMarre Carroll has been having some pretty decent games as of late. I know last time out, he scored upwards of 30 DraftKings points, and he's still at 3.6K. Somebody you could take a tournament flyer on if you got the stones to do it. By all means, get it done. As far as Jonas Valanciunas. I think he can be a really decent play in this game, going up against Miles Plumlee for a little while, and then maybe a little Greg Monroe. But Giannis is my favorite play in this game. I think I'm going to have him in quite a few lineups tomorrow. And DeRozan, I do not like. I would go Lowry over DeRozan. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be, well, because let's remember, DeRozan is still 8.4K, Lowry is 7.8K. So the next game we're going to get into is going to be the Atlanta Hawks going to Utah to take on the Utah Jazz. This is a 195.5 point total, with Utah, the home favorite, giving up 2.5 points to the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, Dwight Howard is in play in this game. You know, with Mike Scott out, and then you've got Chris Humphries that can play a little center. Tiago Splitter is out. Mike Muscala is out. I think you're going to see, you know, a fair amount of minutes from Dwight Howard, and when he's on the floor for a long time, that means he's getting points, he's getting rebounds, he's a double-double. So I kind of do like him today. I also like Rudy Gobert on the other side. Now, at home, Utah is going to play a very slow pace. George Hill going up against Schroeder. X's Schroeder out for me, and it pluses George Hill. I like George Hill tomorrow. I even like Gordon Hayward a little bit. He's going to see some maybe Kent Bazemore defense. So I think Gordon Hayward can definitely be a good play tomorrow. The point total is so low that I'm not going to be as invested in this game as I would be, say, Charlotte, New York. But I may have a couple guys here and there in the lineup. The next game we're going to get into is the Oklahoma City Thunder traveling to the Denver Nuggets. Now, there is no point total for this game right now. I believe the only injury on the Thunder side is going to be Cam Payne, who is still out. But we've got Gary Harris out. We've got Danilo Gallinari questionable. Hernan Gomez is going to be out of this game. So I love the bigs. You know, if there's anywhere that we can really like attack Oklahoma City, we can attack them with bigs, man. Especially players like Yusuf Nurkic and Nikola Jokic. I like those guys tomorrow. Either I'm gonna have some lineups with both of them in. I'm gonna have some with one or the other. I really do like him tomorrow. Wilson Chandler is going to be an interesting play because we know that the best player on the floor usually dictates the pace. So the playing style of the best player on the floor is going to be Russell Westbrook. It's going to be up pace, high tempo. I think we're going to see a lot of scoring. When the line comes out, I would venture to say it will be well over 200, so we can invest in this game. Tomorrow, if you like Russell Westbrook, fire him up. I'm not paying that much for him. I just don't do that. He's at 12K tomorrow, so to really get that value, that floor value I'm looking for, 72 points is what he needs. I'm cool with that. You can have that. The slate is too big. There's too many great plays on the slate. I'm not paying up. This will be another day that I completely fade Russell Westbrook. Now, Depot is very interesting in this game. He is at 6.6K. That salary creeped up just a bit. But I think against the Nuggets, you know, he can definitely have a solid game. He's been picking up his defensive stats lately, too. So he's somebody that we can definitely look at when we talk about Victor Oladipo. As far as the Oklahoma City bigs, I mean, Steven Adams is always in play. But I think against the more athletic, more active guys around the basket, like Yusuf Nurkic, and then you've got Jokic, who can step out and actually shoot the three-point shot. I would rather go them before I would go Adams if I'm going to a big in this game. But if you like the roster, I mean, why not? You can. Sabonis is going to be a really cheap option at the forward position, at the power forward. He's still 3.3K. Had a fairly decent game out last time. Scored 18 DraftKings points. Kind of a salary saver. Somebody that you can spend up. Will use pay down for so you can spend up later. The next game we're going to talk about is the Minnesota Timberwolves going to the Phoenix Suns. This game has a 213 point total. Very nice point total, with Minnesota giving up 1 point to the Phoenix Suns. This is going to be running, gunning. A lot of activity around the basket, I'd say. Look out for Karl-Anthony Towns because he didn't have a really good game out last time, and he's going to be seeing either Tyson Chandler or Alex Len. I do like Karl-Anthony Towns in a bounce-back game tomorrow. This is a very stackable offense when we talk about Ricky Rubio, Zach LaVine, Wiggins, who I don't really like that much, haven't rostered him yet this year. And as I said, Karl-Anthony Towns. Like I like Gorgie Jang in this game as well to go out and grab some rebounds, maybe a double-double for him. Tyson Chandler is questionable. TJ Warren, we know that he is out. Those are all the injury news and notes from the Phoenix side. Eric Bledsoe is going to be a really nice play tomorrow, I believe. He's somebody you can get in your lineup for about 7K. That's a pretty good price for him because he can go off. He can definitely go off, especially against Ricky Rubio. I like Bledsoe tomorrow. He's actually one of my favorite plays on the slate. Devin Booker at shooting guard, 6.3K, doesn't give you much in peripheral stats, but he can score, and the game is going to be high pace. It's a 213-point total. Somebody's got to fill up the bucket. It may be Devin Booker tomorrow, but my favorite play from the Phoenix side would be Eric Bledsoe, and we've got Alex Len. He's up to 5.2K. That salary is creeping up. The Allen Williams experiment is over for me. Never again. I'm good on that. So the next game we're going to talk about is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans going to the Portland Trailblazers. Now, we know another guy that if you've paid any attention to DFS, this guy is plays in streaks, whether they're good or bad. And at home, giving up 4 points against maybe Tim Frazier and Drew Holiday, you got to like Dame Lillard tomorrow. This is a 219-point total. As I said, Portland is giving up 4 points. You've got to like Dame Lillard tomorrow, going against Tim Frazier and or Drew Holiday. I really like I really like Dame tomorrow. I think we see another Dame game from him. You're also going to see Anthony Davis in this game. Now, he shed that questionable tag. He's ready to go. He'll be fine to play tomorrow as of right now. If you wanted to spend up and pay, that big salary on him, he kind of gave me a scare with the injury, man. I think I'm going to wait and see how he does for the next few games. He's at 10.7K, and that's a lot to invest in an injury, an in-game injury. So I will definitely, I don't think I'll be messing with Anthony Davis too much. Maybe a lineup or two, but not a huge investment I'm going to have tomorrow in Anthony Davis. I like Terrence Jones at 5.8K. He's been seeing more minutes, definitely trending up. I think they're kind of going to get a little more cautious with Anthony Davis since Terrence Jones can actually play that stretch floor and really be a good offensive presence on the floor when he's out there. So I do like Terrence Jones tomorrow. Tim Frazier, man, a lot of people are going to continue to chase that 50-something point game he had. He had 27 points out last time. That's a little bit more like it. He's not somebody who I'll be rostering tomorrow. With all these great point guards on the slate, I think I'll be staying away from Tim Frazier. If I was going to roster somebody, it would be Drew Holiday in this game, going up against a subpar Portland perimeter defense. McCollum could be a decent play tomorrow. I probably won't have him in very many lineups. But if I had to roster anybody from the New Orleans side, it would be Drew Holiday and Terrence Jones. Anybody from the Portland side, of course, is going to be Dame Lillard. I do like a little bit of Ed Davis, as he is very active around the basket. If he's going to be the starting center for tomorrow, that means he's going to be matched up a lot with Omar Asik, and I think he can have his way with Asik to get rolling early in the game and to see some nice minutes, maybe about 20-25 minutes for Ed Davis. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be the Golden State Warriors going to the Los Angeles Lakers. This game is screaming blowout. It is a 233-point total, with the Golden State Warriors giving up 13 points. Now, we've got some, we know D'Angelo Russell's not going to be playing, so we're going to see some Jose Calderon. He is still 3K. He's still 3K. I kind of like it. I mean, if I get into a groove where I'm paying up for Harden or Boogie, because they're both going to be in play for me tomorrow, and I need the salary save, I need the cap space, Calderon's going to be a part of my lineups. He's a starter. He's an NBA starter. He's going to be starting on a team that's going to be at home. There's a very good chance the game could be just a little bit closer than the point total suggests. And we see 25 minutes from a guy at 3K. Why not? If I'm paying up in other spots, I like him. Swaggy P, questionable with a toe issue. We're going to see Jordan Clarkson, who had a slow start in his last game out, but he definitely played well. Jordan Clarkson needs to be the starting point guard on this team without D'Angelo Russell. That just only makes sense to me. That's the only I don't understand that. But if he was starting, I'd have him everywhere because I like Jordan Clarkson. We're gonna see Sweet Lou at 5.6K. If you're looking for just some straight scoring coming off of the bench, he's not going to do much in the way of peripherals. I don't like him very much. We've got Julius Randle's going to be questionable, which definitely opens up opportunity and space for Brandon Ingram. Now that price only went up 100 DK dollars. He went from 3.4K to 3.5K. He is definitely in play tomorrow, and he's probably the only player that will see minutes with the first team and minutes with the second team, even if it's a blowout. So I do like Brandon Ingram tomorrow. At some point, he's going to have that welcome me to the NBA bust out game, and it could be against the Golden State Warriors second team in a big blowout loss where he brings them back kind of, sort of. That's my opinion. On the Golden State side, I mean, these guys are just way too expensive and way too, you know, see, this team is not like it's not like the Clippers have been recently when or Charlotte. Like nobody means so much to this team, this Golden State team, that if they blow people out, no matter who they play, if they blow them out, this one particular guy is gonna go off. There are so many people on this Golden State team that contribute to the team's success, especially contributes to blowouts, that it's going to be hard to nail down that one guy that's going to benefit the most. So I think, I'm not saying I'm going to fade them completely, but I will not be building lineups around anyone from the Golden State offense. If I'm rolling in my lineup building and I see, damn, I got 9K left, it's between this guy and Curry. I could go Curry. Oh, I've got, 9.6K left. It's between this guy and Durant. I might go Durant. But when it comes to building a lineup, I won't be starting my lineups with anybody from the Golden State Warriors side. The next game we're going to get into, and the last game on the slate, is my second favorite game. Remember, I already told you the Charlotte and Knicks game is going to be a chock full game. It's going to have a lot of fantasy goodness in it. Now, the game I like secondly, and this is where I may do some stacking, some little correlation plays, is going to be the Houston Rockets going to the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento has been playing really well. They've been defending their home court with a vicious abandon, and I really like the Sacramento Kings tomorrow to beat the Houston Rockets, but I think that the game is going to be very close, and we're going to see an awesome game from James Harden. Now, the price is still up on Harden. He's at 11.7K, but with the price being down on Beverly, what I'm looking at in my game set, my team stack for Harden is if I pair Harden and Beverly, that is about what 16K in salary. Beverly is gonna ball. He's gonna get you some rebounds. He's gonna play really great defense, which is gonna keep him on the floor. He's gonna score every now and then, maybe get 10, 12 points, a few assists. He is 30 points. I like Beverly for 30 points tomorrow, which will help me out in rostering Harden because Beverly is so cheap. So, and while I'm doing that, if I've got Beverly and Harden, I may as well in this game where the best player on the floor is probably going to dictate the pace of the game, James Harden, up tempo, Mike D'Antoni, even though they're in Sacramento, I think Harden is so good he can dictate the pace of the game, and I want to benefit from him. Either I'm playing Harden or I'm playing the few guys around him. I like Eric Gordon in this game. I also like, believe it or not, I like Ryan Anderson. I think Ryan Anderson is gonna have that bounce back game where he really gets open looks and shoots the ball really well on the outside. So if I had to play anybody from the Houston side, it would be Harden, it would be Ryan Anderson, it would be Patrick Beverly, and that's the guys I like from Houston. On the Sacramento side, Boogie is always in play. Boogie is always in play. I don't like Capella as much because he's gonna be going up against Boogie. Like I said last time, I knew Valanciunas was gonna have a good game against him. Capella, because Capella is so athletic and he doesn't really have the game up here yet. He bites on every head fake. I'm talking about if you up fake, he jumps out of the fucking gym every time. So I think Boogie is another center that's really going to take advantage of that and have a really good game out at home, defending that home court. Anytime anytime Houston comes to town, you want to target perimeter players. I like Darren Collison in this game. I actually like Aaron Aflalo a little bit for the cheap. He's at 3.2K, and he can score against James Harden. James Harden is an open door on defense. He'll let you go. Matt Barnes is also going to be in play. Rudy Gay, I do not like as much as I'm probably everybody else will. I would definitely be underweight when it comes to against the field on Rudy Gay. So the plays that I like from the Sacramento side are going to be I like Aaron Aflalo, and I know I'm laughing, but I like Aaron Aflalo. I like Darren Collison, and I also like Boogie in that game. Now, we've broken down tomorrow's 15 NBA games. 14 are going to be on the main large slate. 6 are going to be on a separate slate that we can get into, smaller prize pools, but the cash line is going to be a little bit lower because there's not as much players. This has been your DFS Jerusalem. If you would like to support the show, first things first, understand you're doing that right now by watching. But if you would like to further support the show, you can definitely stop by my Twitter page or my YouTube page, and you can click the link that will take you to where you can get the finest in DFS sweatshop swag. We've got t-shirts and hoodies available to you now. I am in negotiation to develop more colors, so definitely go by there and check out some DFS sweatshop swag. Get yours. I got mine. I'm getting mine. Excuse me. And you can go to the YouTube page, and there's a link that says support the show. You're more than welcome to support the show there. My personal PayPal is simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com if you'd like to support me there. Anything that you donate or the t-shirts that you purchase, the hoodies that you purchase are going to go with improvements and advancements in the show. I am taking this thing full time. Remember, go ahead and get subscribed, like, comment, share, but make sure you get subscribed before December 1st because that is when all of our paid services will begin. If you are already in by December 1st, you will never have to pay a dime. You will continue getting the same and more services from me. The website will be launched December 1st, the Facebook page, the Twitter page, all of it. So now that you are in the sweatshop, I just want to thank you again. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem. Follow me on Twitter, and let's go out and have a profitable Friday. And always, always in the sweatshop, keep it 300.